deep. Now this is a match-up for me that's so crucial. Travis Cloak got hold of Cale Hooker last year, kicked 3 goals in 30 minutes on Anzac Day, and it was just about game over.
It'll be Bell Chambers getting the first tap against Jolly, but the spoils go to Dane Swan. A high ball to half forward. Collingwood going to the punt road end. Dawes was the big fly, had it fisted away. Thomas, now Blair for Collingwood. He's got Thomas in support, but decides to do it himself. Onto the right boot, into the pocket, looking for Cloak. Almost took the one-hander. And did well, the big fella. Spills to ball. Ineffective kick by Beams. Now Heppel, clearing kick to half-back. Picked up nicely by Hurley. Dishes off back to the youngster in Heppel,
who dabs forward of the wing. Ryder, Chesterfield a couple of years ago in Essendon's memorable victory. It was a clever knock-on. McVeigh couldn't cash into the fullest. Ryder beautifully smothered by Thomas. Hurley working it forward. Maxwell, the captain, in the way for Collingwood. But Ryder and Watson stand up. Heppel has it again. He's made a great start. Just miscued the kick. Davis at the back for the Magpies in double trouble, and the Bombers are a bit of a chance. Jetta swinging it long, Hill there, Hardingham over the top, but Maxwell had it in safe hands.
and ball's going to clear for Collingwood, and it's a beautiful kick too as he finds Shaw, who wastes no time, goes down the line to Cloak, who's a long way from home, marks in front of Fletcher. Cloak to Dawes, he'll have to wait for it on the half volley. Nice trap and beautiful handball back to Shaw, who drills the pass to Brown. Again, a trap on the half volley's good. Centering kick. Underneath it is Beams. He's got there. So Dane Beams is marked, and he's going to be kicking from right on 50. And this year his conversion in front of goal has been much better. 7 goals, 2 in the 4 matches, converting at 78%.
He's got a great look at how quickly the Magpies transition the footy from one end of the ground to the other. They do track the boundary more than the other side. We know that's been spoken about a lot, but they get it on so quickly, and that allows their forwards one-on-one opportunities, and Beams is a good enough player in that situation.
From right on the 50, slight angle, no breeze to worry about. Dane Beams for the first score of the match. Beautiful kick. Mentioned Matthew, he's kicking for goal this year. I mean, he had a bit of the horrors, didn't he, last couple of years, but really good this year, converting it, well over 80% now this season. I know it's only early, but doing much better in front of goal.
It is far better, and it's an area that Collingwood need to improve because they kept sides in it last year. And what a matchup that is. Dyson Heppel beat Dane Beams, 2 young superstars on the rise. What a matchup that is. Dane Beams and Dyson Heppel. Heppel, he's had 2 rebounds off back 50. He's had the most rebounds for Essendon so far in the first 4 rounds, but he has to be careful on the rebounds. He can't give up goals like that. 3 possessions to 2. The Essendon man's way, but you've got to have Beams in front after the first goal. Here is Luke Ball. The kick not much good off the instep, and the Bombers can clear this. Lovett Murray feeding to his captain Watson. Low ball, O'Brien covers it for the Magpies on the members' side. A little ambitious, and Ray Chamberlain's got him. Essendon's ball, a long way from goal. Hooker, what's the other man who's not Hocking, whose name starts with H? Here's Hurley, but he's pushed over the line, so a throw-in. And that is the simple game plan as we see the dropping the ball. Great tackle by Heath Hocking, been in great form, going long to the big men, Ryder and Hill.
Jolly worked his way to the front. Here's Johnson, Pendlebury in there. Cranberry fed out the handball. Lays the heavy tackle on Blair too. It was a good one. Wasn't going anywhere, and we'll have a bounce 45 metres away from the Bombers' goal.
Almost real old school footy here at the MCG today, as Matthew Lloyd's pointing out. It's kicked long to a tool forward. The Bombers have got a couple there in Hill and Ryder. Track the boundary and long kicking and contested marking. I like it.
Johnson, good tackle again by Hocking. Umpire let it go. Wellingham can't get boot to ball. Watson's in there. And another bounce, 50 out.
And the other point I've noticed, Darcy, is I can't see any tags on the ground. I've looked at Dane Swan, I've looked at Joe Watson, but they're all running free. So I think you're right. It's going to be just a hard, contested footy style of match.
Jolly the tap to Pendlebury. Again, good tackle close in. This time it was from Jetta. Clever by Shaw. Off to Reid. Ineffective kick. Swan's there. He might have got a free for a push. He did. So Dane Swan's got the free kick at half-back for Collingwood.
Probably the one area of the game where Collingwood have had a distinct advantage so far in the start of the year is the contested possession. And these are the two that generate so much of it, Pendlebury and Swan.
Yes, Pendlebury kicks coolly and well, just placing it. Here's Heppel again, and support from Howlett. He took them on, he's still taking them on, and he's coughed it up. Blair to Shaw, and Didak on the preferred. It's a one-on-one contest if he'd made better contact, but it fell short. And Lovett Murray covers and gives to McVeigh. Second time he hasn't quite received cleanly in the opening minutes. Now Zaharakis out wide, the match winner a couple of years ago, and he's found some space. He can't quite cut the distance as much as he would like. Hill was up, down was Cremery, who's been a real surprise packet. Big Hill again, Jetta buried. Collingwood have it covered, but the Bombers hold it in. They're working hard in the front half.
Lloyd, he spoke about a simple game plan. You can see Howlett getting a bit of trouble here and decide to go the Hollywood handball over the shoulder. I'm sure that one just goes in the boot, 10 metres along the boundary line, set up again. They got away with it, but it was a bad mistake.
Reid to Jolly. Jolly plays a bit of tunnel ball, comes to Hill. Hill has a shot at goal, and it's way offline out on the floor.
You will see the forward pressure of Essendon being far greater this year under James Hird. Can they stop the Pies? They had the full run of play last time, which set up that goal to Dane Beams. Now Harry O'Brien's out.
And he drives it long. Typical O'Brien style, looking for, not finding side bottom. Essendon regain possession. Fletcher, that's a clever kick. And standing underneath it is Hurley.
So the Bombers build again. They've had plenty of it in there. Haven't been able to kick a goal. Hill jostling with Reid. Magpie fans wanting a holding the ball. They don't get it, but they do get the footy. Pendlebury ball. And now Shaw, who keeps coming at Watson, who's just backing away. Johnson receives and delivers with good weight. Finds Blair. Still in the back half for the Magpies. We've done well. It's been almost all defence, and yet they've kicked the only goal through that man. Beams to Pendlebury. Norm Smith medalist enjoys the big occasion. Now Davis.
And he winds up and drills it long, looking for Cloak. Beautiful mark from Travis Cloak. He attacked the footy with great gusto and has taken a cracking contested mark.
That's the matchup we highlighted at the start of the game. Travis Cloak mentioned contested marks. Stephen, he's the #1 in the game. Taken 19 this year, but 10 of them inside 50. Carl Hooker's had him before, and he's had goals kicked in quick succession. 3 in 30 minutes on Anzac Day last year, round 20. He had 4 kicked in about 2.5 quarters, so he's got to do the job today, Hooker. Otherwise, Cloak just might get hold of him again, Lordy.
Travis Cloak, the man who debuted for Collingwood on Anzac Day 2005. Well within range. Well, the iPod didn't work on that occasion. He's hooked that badly. 1-1 Collingwood, Essendon yet to score.
There's one matchup in this game. It's the Heath Shaw and Brent Stanton matchup on the wing. Heath Shaw, here he is in screen, already 5 disposals. Stanton yet to touch it. Stanton has to tighten up.
The old campaigner Fletcher did it beautifully. And
how good was that kick, Tim? 60-metre drop punt, lays out.
Bell Chambers to Monfries, who started on the bench. Essendon's ball still. Collingwood managing to twice hold things up, whether by design or just a little bit of accident is not quite clear. If it was design, it was artful. Monfries in the righter direction. The Tarrant there with the big spoil. Wellingham, well tackled, but ball is everywhere. To a one-on-one, Lovett Murray made good position. Bell Chambers, long way to bend. Back to Lovett Murray. Tuvey tackled, Ryder. Essendon's work rate good. Lovett Murray, but nothing there. Leon Davis can swallow this.
So not much on offer for Leon Davis. He's got a decision to make, so he decides to go down the line and long. Doing the knocking away was Hardingham. A throw in, half forward flank, Collingwood into attack. Yes, Heath Shaw having a little bit of spell. Started this match in great style. Melksham knocks it forward for Essendon. Wellingham can't pick up the hot football. Oh, Melksham attacked it beautifully. And he is rewarded with a free kick. Great stuff from the teenager.
Some of the signs that James Hird, the coaching staff, are looking for are just a few of those 50-50 wins where the Essendon team, like Melksham did on that occasion, get in harder and lower and win a contested ball. If they can match Collingwood in that area, they'll give themselves a huge chance in the other parts of the game where they've got some advantage.
Here's Davis again. Clever handball to Didak. Back to Davis, back to Didak. That is slick play from Collingwood as Johnson runs away.
Kick, no, not getting a result. And the Bombers hold nice and firm here. Hooker back to Fletcher, who is just at the top of his game, has shown no signs of wear with the age. Age shall not weary him. Heppel, now what's he after with that? He's got Collingwood left, right and centre. Maxwell to Beams. This time he's not probably given the second goal away because Swan can cut the distance and put it through. And the Magpies lead by 13.
That's just an example, nothing more than the big game just getting hold of Dyson Heppel there. He panicked with the kick. He had an option earlier, could have picked off Hill, which is the obvious one to go to 30-metre pass. It was a regulation ball. He actually had another option inside. Henry Slater had run on. He could have chosen that. He panicked a little bit, thought, I just got to get it out of the area. Kicked it to 3-on-none. Always going to be a goal.
Yeah, just want to highlight, we saw Howlett get caught up in the pressure of the game. Heppel here had to hit Hill on the short pass for 20 metres. He's just panicked, kicked it long into space. Collingwood kill you on the turnover.
First 2 goals going the Magpies' way.
It is going to be the challenge, Lloyd, isn't it? If they can compete and win enough of the footy around the contest to get themselves into the game. But if you make basic errors against Collingwood, they will score every single time. The 2 goals have been caused as a result of that. If you look at general play, Essendon are actually in this game. They are great in their energy. They're up and about. They're winning the contested situation, but they need a goal just to settle their nerves.
Jolly got pushed out and received the free kick. Long ball inside 50. Big pack fly front and centre was Blair. Tried to get it to side bottom unsuccessfully. Ryder to Slattery. Throws it on the boot. McVeigh against Shaw. Tuvey. Good handball. Thread at the eye of the needle back to Shaw, who pumped it long into the full forward area. Dawes is forced to spoil. And another throw in Collingwood's forward pocket. The goal scorer so far for Collingwood. Beams and Swan.
That's Paddy Ryder back there loose in defence, so James Hird hasn't mucked around. The scoreboard reads 13-0. He's decided just to get a loose back.
Magpies look dangerous every time they advance. Jolly getting it out, just not able to get it onto his boot.
Yeah, I reckon, Darcy, you made the point earlier about all the signs are good for Essendon. The tackle count, 11 tackles in favour of the Bombers. They just need to take a mark inside 50 next time they go forward.
Ryder climbing high on Ray Chamberlain's low bounce. Pendlebury, non-preferred, gets skillfully onto the left and kicks a wonderful, wonderful goal. Now, there is a conference. Goal umpire coming out to get the all clear, but it is confirmed.
Well, the 3 goals, Pendlebury, Swan and Beams. 3 of their elite, consistent midfielders. Great start for the Pies.
Not the start the Bombers wanted. You just cannot afford. So we see Dustin Fletcher have a break there. The powerhouses of Collingwood, Cloak and Dawes, proving a presence, but it's the small men who the Bombers, I think their depth darts, it's hard to know who to stop. And you're right, Pendlebury, Beams and Swan. So many different goal kickers week after week for Collingwood.
Hill against Jolly, taken by Swan. Here's Jolly. Wellingham can't get clear kick away. Finally it comes out. Stanton just hacks it off the ground of the wing. Thomas will get there first for Collingwood. Needs a kind bounce and gets it. Skillful player decides to go to Pendlebury, who started this match well. Off to Cloak, provides some support, back to Pendlebury. That's great vision, beautifully weighted kick. Magnificent stuff from Pendlebury to Wellingham, who goes for goal. Dawes is underneath it, just can't quite hang on to the mark. 2 against 1. Love it, Murray held when he didn't have it. Now mopping up his hooker. Lucky break there for the Bombers. They just got out of jail.
Crammery now in space. Very lucky to get away with that. Yeah, that's a free kick against Shaw, so the Bombers could try and make something of that little escape. McVeigh, Zaharakis, he goes for Hurley, and Monfrey's waiting down. Now, can he get out and do something really clever? Doesn't look like it. Covered by side bottom, and the line is there as a line of safety and defence.
Such a great starting side the Magpies have been over the last 18 months, and they've got that sort of presence about them, a bit like the great Brisbane Lions sides that won 3 premierships. They're able just at the start to impose their influence on the game, and quite often Sidebottom's kick goes off the side of the boot and out of bounds in the full. But games are often won in the first quarter against Collingwood. The Bombers have just got to weather this storm and get on the scoreboard.
And they need a mark, Das. Inside 50.
Stanton kicks towards Hill. Great tackle, Davis, holding the ball.
We spoke about it quarters before the game. To take in 3 big blokes, they need to be marking, because at ground level they can get really hurt. Yet to see a mark from Hill, Ryder or Bell Chambers inside 50.
Davis clears for Collingwood. Floated a half back, and that's a wonderful mark from Kyle Harding, and we know he can take a big grab, and that was a ripper. Off to Stanton, who drills it long, hoping for the big timber, and Monfrey's given away a silly free kick.
Unrealistic attempt against you, Angus.
Yeah, you heard the umpire, unrealistic attempt, which it was. It just had to be a contest. It was going to be the basics not getting done at the moment for the Bombers.
Bombers have gone in with the 3 big men. Got tall targets, but they haven't been able to use them in the perfect conditions. Watson missing everything. So again, Essendon foiled, still goalless, with the quarter beyond its halfway point, and they're just not really looking like penetrating. Collingwood, now such an accomplished team, and they've been ruthless when they've gone forward. There have been 7 entries by the Magpies, 5 by the Bombers. Davis looking for a little outlet there, and Maxwell knew he was going and provided the shepherd. Kick, though, well handled by McVeigh.
Thought he might have broken his hand last week. Fortunately, X-rays cleared him of that, McVeigh, and he's out there in his big Anzac Day match this afternoon. Remembering Essendon lost 2 players last week with knee reconstructions in Winderlick and Dempsey. Their seasons are over.
And you wonder if Mark McVeigh there in set has been sent to Shaw, who had 5 damaging possessions on Stanton early in the match. McVeigh sent to him just in a negating role.
Nice snare there by Howlett, kicks into the pocket, and that is a mark to Cramry. Stuart Cramry, no, off hands, throw in.
The last grab, apparently, after he crossed the line.
Crowd doesn't like it. Throw in. Bombers desperate for a goal. Howlett again, found some space, threw it on the left, just offline. Let's have a look at this low mark. Up went Cramry. Gee, that looked like a clear mark to me.
Pretty good from there.
Clear mark.
Beams from clear of the 50. Well taken, though, for the Bombers.
Looks like they made a bit of a shift there. Hooker started on Travis Cloak. Dustin Fletcher's got the match up at the moment.
Bay into the half-forward line. Zaharakis scouting well and giving the Bombers some hope, but Reid.
They just have to get a contest when you're playing tools down there. Reid read that better than Hill on that occasion. They're ideally looking for a contested mark. They can't get outmarked in their own forward half of the ground. It kills you.
And Collingwood's long disposal of the ball to a man is clinical. Back to Swan.
He switches and does it nicely to O'Brien. He can go for one of his customary runs, but in the end decides to kick instead, and it's a good one. And spots up Shaw. Coming up for his 7th disposal in this first quarter. Shaw, short to Pendlebury, no mark, well scored by Watson, but mopping up his side bottom. Did well to get it back to Pendlebury, now off to O'Brien, who this time does go for a bit of a trot. Has a bounce, drills it long. Dawes is caught behind Fletcher, well done, free kick.
That's what you love about Dustin Fletcher, is that he will always play the angles and start in front. And we've seen Cloak and Dawes look so dangerous on that occasion. There is the 330-plus game veteran and star in the right spot.
The Bombers work it out of defensive 50, and the kick finds Stanton.
Can't afford to leak more goals in this opening quarter. The game could just about be done early in the piece. Now Fletcher. Good ball for Hooker. And the rule preventing front-on contact stood him in good stead there. Draws the tackle. Gives to Slattery. Now Heppel, who's had a mixed bag so far. Places that well for Hill. Reid did enough. Lonigan prizing it out. Zaharakis running for him. McVeigh. Long way from home. It's a good kick. And another miss.
Inside 50s, 11 to the Bombers, 9 to Collingwood. So it's just the finishing skills. They're right in this match.
Ball picked up by Thomas. And gets the handball receiver. Oh, Collingwood on the counter-attack here. Brown wants to kind bounce. Didn't quite get it. Heppel harasses. Did well, the youngster. Got it back over to Hocking. Under pressure. Handballs to Bell Chambers. Back to Heppel. Just jams it on the left boot to half forward to a one-on-one. McVeigh against Shaw. Shaw kept his feet. Gathers and kicks clearly to the wing and finds Pendlebury,
who has become a real artist of this game. He gives to Beams. Clever little ball for Blair. Bouncing awkwardly, but he's elusive. And he's got a shoe on him. It is pretty good. It's just touched on the line by Fletcher.
Not happy with the missed tackle, Luke.
No, it was one that should have stuck. I was also just admiring Jared Blair, who every time he gets a 50-50 opportunity quarters, he makes the most of it. That was an incredibly difficult pick-up. He made it his own and nearly kicked the miracle goal.
Leroy Jetta on centre wing. Kicks to a one-on-one. Hurley's caught behind. Might have been holding, he was.
Well, this is what's destroying the Bombers at the moment. They're going long inside 50 at every occasion. They're getting one-on-ones. And they're not taking marks, but worse than that, they're giving away free kicks. And the Collingwood defence at the moment is really on top. So the game plan is there. They need their big forwards to start delivering.
Play on.
Shaw for Collingwood. Heppel can't take the mark.
Just want to highlight this last contest, Hurley and Tarrant. Who would have thought 5 or 6 years ago Chris Tarrant would hold up like this in defence? He doesn't win much of the footy, but he is so rock solid in the defence, and what a recruit he's been so far with the absence of Brown.
That was a semi-drop kick from Brown.
Just reckon that Reid, Maxwell, O'Brien, Heath Shaw, although they give you plenty of attack dust, they win the one-on-ones time and time again.
Just have to hold their nerve here, Lloydie, too, don't they? They really just keep going with the game plan that's going to work for them. Keep the big forwards there. At some point, they're going to take some marks, and then the pressure goes back on the Collingwood defenders. So Hurley has been a sensational one-on-one player. Hill's capable. Ryder's got the ability. That's why they left Bell Chambers in the side. Stick to what they came here with, and let's hope in this perfect ground and perfect conditions today they can take one.
3.5 minutes left, opening term. Collingwood escape. Pendlebury and Thomas. And Cloak not quite able to hang on. But again, Collingwood dangerous. Thomas not making the best fist of the kick. Had he done so, it might well have been another goal. The Bombers still goalless. Bell Chambers rucking with Brown. Here's Thomas again. Big Bell Chambers. Wellingham. Heppel. Pendlebury just putting the head into the tackle, hoping for the umpire's whistle, not getting it. Jetta, 2-on-2 here. Ryder trying to get into position, but Reid outboxed him. It's Collingwood's side of the wing.
Contrast going forward for Collingwood. You look at Cloak, you think, wow, he's got an opportunity to take a contested mark or get in front of Carl Hooker. You think Chris Dawes looks dangerous. And at the other end, you're sort of hoping, if you're an Essendon supporter, that Hill, Ryder and Hurley can take one.
Pendlebury for his 12th disposal this quarter to Didak, and good mark taken by Stanton. And releases quickly to Fletcher. Now, Cramry got an opportunity here against Maxwell. Waited for it to bounce, and it does well. Takes on the Collingwood captain with his leg speed. Drills it to half forward. Milksham against O'Brien. Essendon fans want a free kick. None forthcoming. O'Brien will clear again to Shaw. Good shepherd by Maxwell. It gives Shaw another 5 metres to work with. And then he kicks wonderfully well to Cloak.
In a long ball to a leading teammate. It was beautifully executed. Cloak an imposing target these days. Wow, not well covered there. And he's able to put that into a dangerous spot. Lee Brown in position. 2 against him. Brown and Blair. Blair and Jolly, the big man, drives it home. Collingwood have 4. So Kenny, how often he bobs up close to goal.
It is, and Carl Hooker, he'll be wanting to find a hole to jump in at the moment. He's an improved player. Start on Travis Cloak. He's been led up to the footy. It was just a defensive mark that his name all over. At 3/4 of the mark, he drops it, and the most simple goal goes the way of the Magpies.
Tim, you made the call with Travis Cloak's ball. Watch this. Dustin Fletcher on the mark. He's given him another 5 or 10 metres, which allowed the kick to be driven to the top of the square. Obviously, Hooker should have taken the mark, but that shouldn't have probably got there. And Darren Jolly, a big man, working hard, pushing forward.
Well, it's not negotiable now. The Bombers somehow need to manufacture the next goal. Very hard to knock off the reigning premiers if you're 5 goals in arrears early in this match. O'Brien to Didak. Being harassed by Stanton. Didak's good enough to get a little toe poke. Deliberate, yells the crowd, but getting there to knock it over the line was Shaw.
It's funny how they shout deliberate, and sometimes it doesn't even go out.
I mentioned the inside 50 count a few times. Essendon have gone inside 13 times to Collingwood 12. The Bombers yet to score a goal.
Ball pushes his teammate Dane Swan out the way and delivers nicely to Dawes. Dawes to Blair. Slattery gets there first. Lonigan to Watson. Again, Heppel. They spoiled each other. Ball takes them on. Picked up by Stanton. High ball to the 50. O'Brien has front position. Now the chase is on again. Thomas. Picks it up to O'Brien, who's been busy across half-back.
Another Collingwood defender quarters is just way on top at the moment. Shaw, O'Brien, Tarrant, they're all winning at the moment.
O'Brien bangs it long. Swan's got the sun in his eyes. 2 Bombers flew. Fletcher's in trouble. He's hurt himself. He's okay. He's getting up slowly. Bombers have possession deep in their own defence. Jetta just torps one back to the wing. O'Brien underneath it again. Can't take the mark. And here's an opportunity for Essendon.
Yes, they're rattled at the moment, desperate for a goal. Ryder taken under that. There's no free kick, and Shaw leads McVeigh to the ball, and he has support, and the Magpies look as though they'll hold up. Although Kramer is in the way of this. He needed clean hands and acceleration. Cloak got him. He did a Dustin Fletcher on him. Still the Bombers in the dying seconds, but they cannot do a thing right, and time is going to beat them. Jetta gets an unavailing kick. It's a recurring nightmare for the Dons. At quarter time last year, Collingwood led by 44, and this year they lead a goalless Essendon by 23.
Scoreboard mightn't show it. Essendon were really competitive in that quarter. They had opportunities. They went inside 50 on 13 occasions. Couldn't put a goal on the board. They've got to get some marks out of their big forwards. Hill, Ryder and Hurley need to stand up.
And the 10-time King Kelly Slater, boys.
They don't come much bigger, literally, than those two. So we start this second quarter, and the Magpies find themselves 23 points in front.
Jolly, the first hand on it. Ball again, getting an important foot in there. Wellingham, and now Shaw, who had it 11 times in the first quarter. Pendlebury went better than that. He had it 12, but he didn't get it there. And Hardingham comes away with it for the Dons in the Ryder direction, but he was well played by Tarrant. Shaw, Davis, buried by Monfries, unforgivingly, and the Bombers come up with the free kick.
Right now.
The man with the football is Angus Monfries. Goes long, looking for Hurley. Good use of the body by Swan. Great experience, and his pass is good to ball. So So no problems there for the Magpies. Ball gets the move on. Kicks towards Dawes, but needed in the end. It was a good mark by Wellingham. Off to Johnson. To the wing. Oh, Slattery has collided with a teammate and he's come up a little worse for wear. This will suit Collingwood as they pump it long into the pocket. Blair against Heppel. Blair gets a toe poke, but won't score, and the Bombers are away through Lovett Murray.
Stanton there with him, so the Bombers come away cleanly here. He can't see anything he likes. He's got to go to a contest, like it or not. Hill taking Reid past the ball, and the big man getting it on, hoping for Cremery. Ball got in the way and was pushed in the back.
Stanton's pushed all the way up to his own goal line to get the footy. He's playing on Heath Shaw. Heath Shaw's the equal leading possession gatherer on the field with 12 at half-back. Stanton has just got to defensively apply some pressure because Collingwood are just waltzing it out of defence.
Ball sitting it up for Cloak, and he was too strong for Lovett Murray. I think there might have been a free kick had there not been a mark. Fletcher here, one out, should do the job on Dawes, and he does in his typically proficient way. Hooker for Lovett Murray now, but under pressure.
Socket off the ground by Hocking to the wing. Hill working hard. Bit going off the ball. Nothing too serious as Essendon work it to half forward. Ryder didn't quite judge it well enough, but won the football to Zaharakis. Over to Hocking in game 50. Now Stanton. Not having a good afternoon. Tuvey too good. Well, he has absolutely sliced him apart there as Tuvey. And he kicks to half forward, and the mark's taken by Blair.
Well, Angus Monfries with one-on-one inside 50. The fumble from Stanton so costly.
Oh, he's become a classy player from 48. He just hasn't got enough, but he's got a result. And it's Pendlebury who's already kicked one. And he could bend this back with his left boot pretty comfortably with his skills. It's Collingwood by 23. Could get stuck between the posts from that angle. Uses the right. He can do it left, right, any way you like. His second goal.
Marks inside 50, 4 to the Magpies and 0 to Essendon. So that's a telling stat for where this game's been. Essendon have been okay in general play, but just haven't been able to take a mark inside 50. A great play there from Jared Blair, taking the game on, and this is why Scott Pendlebury is so hard to stop. He can go through the midfield, go forward. He's just become a brilliant player of this competition.
I mentioned Brent Stanton. He's got the roll on Heath Shaw. Essendon running inside 50. Took his eye off the footy. He fumbled. Tuvey ran away. Collingwood punish you every time you turn the footy over. And Brent Stanton's having a bit of a horror afternoon so far here at the MCG.
Essendon get the tap, and it's nicely sharked by Lonigan. Pumps it inside 50. Ryder attacks it. No mark. Jetta slaps it off to McVeigh. Hurried kick to the full forward area. Here's an opportunity for Essendon. Tuvey again. Another win for a one-on-one. That's 2 big wins for Alan Tuvey, which easily could have resulted in Essendon goals, and that is great defending from the Collingwood players.
It was, and watch Cremery lose his feet here. That's the difference. Just didn't have to fall over there, and that's the difference. Collingwood just winning the 50-50 contest.
And the young Bombers perhaps a bit demoralised by what's happened so far. They exert pressure here, but 2 of them, Stanton and Watson, fought each other for the ball.
And we've spoken and we've been critical of the Tools not taking a mark, but the highlight for Essendon has been Monfries, Zaharakis, Jetta, Cremery. They've been hitting with 2-3 goals a week. None of those guys have had any space from their opponents today.
Ryder, Watson, Stanton. Pushed in the back. Taken high. And the Bombers come away with the footy. Zaharakis giving it off to Melksham. Goal unguarded, but Maxwell, well, that brings back grand final memories. Nick Maxwell arriving in the nick of time.
But the hesitation there from the midfielders going inside 50 was because David Hill was standing in the left forward pocket, nowhere near the right position to present, and therefore you had to hesitate. It's been turned over, and Paddy Ryder just not good enough there, ducked his head.
And it's a free kick going Lonigan's way. Advantage paid. Stanton whips the handball off. Here's Hurley, been quiet so far. Desperate stuff from Tarrant. Hurley got it to Watson. Watson kicks to the hot spot. And almost a mark to Bell, to Cranberry, not quite. Jetta finishes it off, but he misses. Almost a mark to Cranberry, not quite. Jetta front and centre. He couldn't nail it from 10 metres out. Nothing going right for that man, James Hurd, and his Essendon team at the moment.
Well, they're just perhaps striving a bit too hard. They've been into the 50 19 times to Collingwood 17. Now they've got it back off the Magpies unexpectedly, and Jetta misses again. So those entries, 19-17 Essendon's way, Collingwood are 5-2, Essendon 6 behind.
And you don't get many chances like that against the Magpies. Must nail them. Side bottom couldn't quite take the mark.
Good work there from Stanton to create that chance. We've been critical of him, but he is the leading possession winner. He has been hurt by Heath Shaw, but still trying really hard, Brent Stanton, as he always does. They've had 10 disposals inside 50, only one effective. Just a compliment to the Pies defence.
Free kick going against Brown for holding Paddy Ryder in the ruck contest. Kicks in the Hill direction. There's a couple of Magpies against him. And another free kick, and it's going Essendon's way. It'll be taken by Hill. Too far out to score. Bell Chambers provides a lead. That's ignored. Hill goes to the goal square. Tarrant from the side crushes it through from behind.
I see Bell Chambers in the goal line there, just pointing to the dangerous spot a little further out. So much easier for a defender closer to goal to get it over the line as Tarrant goes back to put his boot on. And
it was an awful kick, really, wasn't it? It was a defender's delight. Leon Davis out over the 50. Melksham for Essendon, Thomas with him. Well played by the young bomber. In went Johnson hard. Got to be careful in those situations. High contact, a bomber free kick. And suddenly the run of the whistle is with them.
I love Jack Melksham's young player. He's just really brave, really committed.
Run of the whistle with them, but their fans not exactly seeing it that way. Bell Chambers hands on the ball. Davis, Thomas, Melksham there again. And Jetta again. Had a couple of shots. Now it's coming back. It was just on the other side of the line, so there'll be a throw in. The Bombers persisting. Matthew Lloyd, but just cannot break through.
You're spot on, Tim. 6 inside 50s to 4. Kicking efficiency, look at that. 60% to 36 in favour of Collingwood. It would be demoralising for the Bombers if Collingwood would have kicked the next goal, because they have worked so hard over the last 5 minutes.
Brown against Bell Chambers. Bell Chambers the tap.
Time inside forward half, just what we spoke about, 76%. You feel they have to get the next goal for their confidence.
Melksham into the pocket, Cranberry's there.
We spoke before the game about Essendon really replicating what Collingwood were able to do last year, and this is Collingwood 2-8, keeping the ball in your own forward half of the ground, applying pressure, wearing them down and scoring. They just need to score.
Howlett snappers smothered. Jetta again to Watson, just hesitated and paid the price.
Such a barometer for Essendon, Joe Watson. Look at this pressure, just the 7 disposals, and haven't really been any damaging ones, so they'd be happy with that, the Magpies.
Well, Chambers goes out the back door looking for Monfries. Pendlebury holds things up.
Dustin Fletcher's just come off quarters. He's been replaced by Michael Hurley, who's actually standing Chris Dawes at the moment, so Hurley's back at the moment.
So the Bombers with the ball in their 50 again. Held it in there for 6 or 7 minutes, I would imagine. Cranberry couldn't break clear. Pendlebury bangs it out for the Magpies. And the last man standing was side bottom of Collingwood. It is absolutely one out here. Hurley needs to be clean and decisive. Dawes is big and strong. The hand pass to Hooker. And Lovett Murray. And now Howlett. And the Bombers stand the challenge. But it might be coming back. Tremendous smother from Big Cloak. He's a big shield.
That was a great one-on-one contest.
Yeah, they've
wasn't
seen it 3 times today, Lee. You don't see it in modern games too much, do you?
Yeah, these two sides play that brand of footy once. Michael Hurley running back. Yeah, Dawes as well on his hammer. Both big men played it really well.
Ryder Paddles and did it well. Jetta. And the Bombers on the move again. Inside 50, Bellchambers in front, takes the mark against Terrence.
Well, finally we get one, an inside 50 contested mark, and it's probably taken their third string ruckman to do it, Tom Bellchambers. So much to admire for me about the way the Bombers are hanging in here. They're trying, they're pressing, they're tackling, they've been courageous. They just need a goal to reward their effort. Inside 50s for Essendon, 23 without a goal.
Kicked 4 goals in his 18 AFL matches so far. Looks good off the boot, and the Bombers have finally got a goal.
Bombers responding well. Some news down on the Collingwood bench. Travis Cloke's limped off. Nothing too serious at this stage. That left ankle's obviously strapped coming in. He's come off to get it re-strapped. He didn't seem to be in too much grief when he came off the ground, but some minor concern for the Collingwood boys down here on the bench.
There's hope for Essendon in more ways than one. The margin is just 19 points. Swan was well tackled. A hungry Essendon outfit all of a sudden. And Howlett gets a kick, but it's a nothing kick. Ryder will climb in. Watson waiting down. Jolly, though, the shovel to Wellingham. Hungry tackle that from Slattery, but he slipped out of it. Hooker and Hardigan beaten by the bounce. Dawes, Swan, Collingwood looking to immediately reply. Didak, big job, young Heppel. Didak, all skill, all class. A Collingwood goal.
That's why you look at the best team in the competition. A 50-50 chance. You've got a player in Alan Didak who is an absolute A-grader, and he's been quiet so far this year, coming off some major surgery. He gets a half chance. Heppel played that really well with Didak. Some magic and a goal that just stops the momentum the Bombers had.
Collingwood so good at responding after the opposition kicks the goal. He's not great above his head with his shoulders, but watch him protect the footy, and there's no better man at snaps, boomerangs than Alan Didak.
Not much more Heppel could have done. Didak just too good. Free kick going Essendon's way. Oh! Howlett, quite looking, but finally got the ball in his hands. Kicks the half forward, attacking it was Hurley, and that's a Collingwood mark.
Look at the game by Johnny. It's 8 scoring shots apiece. Essendon are leading inside 50s 23-19. They're leading clearances. They've had more tackles. They're down on contested possession. But the scoreboard shows a 25-point lead. Just the little things going the way of the Pies.
Watson did well. Lovett Murray. Ryder. Nothing to kick to. Absolutely nothing to kick to. So he's got to hold it up. Jetta, handball smothered. Had no one inside his attacking 50, so that's why he didn't kick it long.
And that's Chris Tarrant again. Ben Johnson, the whole defence of Collingwood just play the percentages so well.
Well, they brought new meaning to the word pressure in the game. They do it superbly. Jolly down to ball. Just gaining metres, but Hooker's coming the other way. McVeigh, Maxwell, 2 hard men. The Collingwood man did it well, but Lovett Murray receives and puts it close to goal. The bounce important. Tuvey, Lonigan and Big Hill getting the body over it. Collingwood with numbers. Just the one extra man. Thomas off the instep, untidy. Still a chance for Essendon. Hooker just shunting it forward. Pendlebury, though, splitting the eye of the needle. Still the Bombers come. Hardingham tackling, however fierce, holding Essendon up.
Just again on that last inside 50, you've had the big forwards down there. Ryder, you've had Bellchambers, you've had Hill and you've had Hurley, but I don't think any of the big ruckman/forwards have been in the right position. The dangerous spot on the ground, 15 metres out. They've been in the pocket. They've been further up outside 50. It's allowing the Collingwood defence to set up exactly where they want it.
Johnson just gritted the teeth and tried to split his way through the pack, didn't quite work out. Heppel. Quick kick to the 50. Well played by Davis, having a very good game. Blair, Johnson, side bottom, great vision, pops one over the top. Shaw, back to Johnson, well done by the Bombers. Great defensive work. They will have a bounce pretty much in the middle of the MCG.
To me, is almost the biggest improvement in Essendon in 2011 compared to last year, is their ability to transition, run and defend. Essendon, on that occasion, really broke down an attacking run. They wouldn't have been able to do that last year.
Wellingham to Swan. Wasn't a great handball, back to Wellingham. Quick kick by Heppel. Lonigan to Watson.
Oh, well played.
It was cleverly done. Punched it to Monfries, gives it to McVeigh. McVeigh kicks to the 50. Poor kick. Zaharakis had provided the lead, but he couldn't reach him. It was cut off by Tarrant.
Maxwell, Melcham just doing enough against a bigger man. Shaw from Maxwell. Fletcher has this covered. And his name written on that Sherrin.
Cutting the angles again, Darcy spoke of it. Sitting 10 metres in front, knowing where the ball will land.
Here comes Collingwood's pressure, but Essendon move it quickly and long. It was a brave kick from young Heppel to Slattery, and it is 50 against Alan Didak, who kicked the goal a couple of minutes ago, but otherwise has had a pretty quiet time of it.
Pretty unlucky there,
It's about 30. So the Bombers' ball, Slattery arriving right, and just couldn't get to the drop. Davis to O'Brien. Now Brown out, manoeuvred by Hardingham. He's under pressure, but he did it well. He's a hard man. He kicks pretty well too. Jolly first hand in. Monfries, support from the left-footed McVeigh, dropping it to the edge of the square. Can someone take a catch? They can't. Good tackle rider though. Collingwood still with numbers there. Tarrant, side bottom. Monfries diving in. And it'll be thrown in.
Great passage of play, that. Sensational intensity. Every kick at the moment you've got to earn. Ball inside 50, massive pack forms. Hurley lurking for the mark. They're just unable to deliver at this stage, the big men for the Bombers.
Just absorbing the pressure when it's in your defensive 50 is so important nowadays, because you do have ebbs and flows within games, and the Bombers have been brave this quarter, but Collingwood have just been able to stop the flow and have only allowed one goal in this, nearly bordering on half-time.
Quick kick out of the pack was by Tarrant. He found a teammate in Reid. Long kick to the wing, whistle. Free kick for a Holmes going against Fletcher. And that's to the delight of Collingwood fans who think they've been given a bit of a raw deal this quarter. Not so sure about that.
It's just the sheer frame and size of Travis Cloke. He was a massive, powerful man, and Fletcher was fearing the strength, had a little grab of the jumper.
Beams with the mark on centre wing. Kicked the first goal of the match. No one on the mark, so he gathers about another 10 or 15 for his team and goes long inside 50. Stanton. Lovett Murray. Well done Wellingham. Smothered the handball, but he gave it straight to Fletcher. Cloke has another go. Into his back was Slattery, and Close got the free kick. 70 metres out. Gets it moving quickly, looking for the big grab. Jolly's there. Hands in the back. An Essendon free kick.
And this guy, Darcy, has improved out of sight. Tom Bell-Chambers, didn't think I'd see him playing the footy he has played. And I think the reason they are playing three ruckman is his form's been too good to drop him.
Always happens.
He's kicked Essendon's only goal, and perhaps is having delusions about his ability to execute difficult kicks. And it'll be Didak who knows how to do exactly that. This is a difficult kick. He's just the man. This is why we've paid so much money to do this job, Lloyd.
I've heard of Mozzing blokes when kicking for goal, but not kicking out of full-back. But aside from that kick, he's been sensational the first month of this season.
So a little bit of a lull in the game now, isn't it? It's been unbelievably intense first 20 minutes of the second quarter. really crucial last 6.5 of the first half. If the Bombers can peg back another goal, they'll go in and say, we can really compete, win this game. If the Pies get 1 or 2, they'll be feeling as though they're just going to coast to another Anzac Day victory.
Another strong mark by Cloak, who loads up again. That's a strong grab taken by Kyle Hardingham. Gives it off to Fletcher. So the Bombers work it out of defence. Oh, kick to Heppel. It's a clever little handball over the top to Jetta. To Hurley against O'Brien. Coming into the picture now is Hocking. Not needed there. O'Brien. Oh, well done, Harry O'Brien. Stanton's got to mark this. Oh, well done, Stanton. No mark paid. He stood his ground bravely. Thomas did enough though to knock it out of his hands. Handball in the Didac direction. And that is still in play. Looked a bit out. Beams wanted the free kick. Umpire was wise up to that one, and he'll bounce in the forward pocket.
Yeah, great effort, Brent Stanton before. He really backed back in. We have a look. That looked out from where we're sitting. Looked out on the replay.
So it's Collingwood's turn to apply pressure. Cloak to Beams. Oh, it was there for the taking. Great smother. Still a chance for Dawes. And wobbles the wrong side. And Collingwood having trouble breaking through just at the moment, but leading by 26 points.
They led by 23 at quarter time. All 36 players in one half of the ground. Fletcher goes long, looking for Hill. O'Brien again, easy pickings for him, just lurking at the back of the pack. Off to Pendlebury. And not quite a mark to Watson. Wellingham, inside 50. Side bottom to Tuvey. Tough one for Hooker to mark. Dawes is there, and Stanton was caught high.
Pendlebury and Shaw, who were so dominant in the first quarter, have had just 4 disposals each in the second. The Bombers have managed to get hold of them. Now Heppel. What a baptism. This will be his 15th disposal of the ball. Had a couple of not so good moments, but you've got to applaud him. Collingwood collision there, releases Howlett, Bell Chambers loose, Melksham running, so is Cremery, the door is open for the Dons, Stuart Cremery drills it, and the Bombers are coming.
Great chain of play set up from Brent Stanton in the back line, putting his head over the footy, won himself a free kick, and then, as you said, Tim Dyson Heppel, just a long contested ball, a good poise there from Stewie Cremery, who's been a revelation off the rookie list so far this season.
Stuart Cremery has cut the margin back to 20.
Yes, and Brent Stanton, I might have been a little harsh on him earlier in his match-up with Heath Shaw. He's had 8 disposals now this quarter, put his head over the footy, back courageously, created that last goal for the Bombers, which is a massive one in the last 4.25 minutes before half-time.
Swan barrels one inside 50. Fletcher. Oh, well done. Doesn't Fletcher. Oh!
Well, Ray Chambers come in, and you can see Dustin Fletcher is just laughing and saying, come on, Ray, what do I do? Let's have a look at it. So, botting up. Really poor decision. I know that I understand the technical aspect of the law, but to me, he had the best body position, Dustin Fletcher. Should have been paid the mark.
Chris Dawes kicks the goal.
Now, I can understand technically the rule says if there's even a fingernail glance in the jumper, then technically the umpire's allowed to play hands in the back. You've got to have force, intent paid as part of the rule, because where else do you rest your hand? I mean, he had the right position, he had the strength, he had his arm underneath, his hand glanced the jumper. That to me isn't the spirit of the game. I can understand technically why this is going to be paid hands in the back, but I don't like that in a fantastic contested game where we've had ruck infringements going flat out at it. That is incidental contact to me. Doesn't sum up the way the game's been played.
Wonder what Anthony Rocker makes of it as he's looking on. Remember that incident in the last quarter a couple of years ago? So Collingwood kicked the goal to extend the lead and maintain control of the game. Important period here, though. 3.5 left before half-time. Essendon certainly playing the general contest on level terms. That's high contact, no doubt about that. Luke Ball's free kick, and the Magpies ever alert to the possibilities. Clever little grub from Johnson to Pendlebury. Nice wait for O'Brien to storm the barricades and deliver for Jared Blair to have a shot.
Harry O'Brien has been a dominant force this quarter. Michael Hurley, he's ran off him far too often, and I think there comes a time where I know you can't stop them all, but I think Michael has to probably go more defensive in this last 3 or 4 minutes because he's been set up countless goals.
Collingwood lead by 26. This would be a heartbreaker for the Dons. Got under that. He got close to the man on the mark, and he lost distance.
Ball by Collingwood. No, on the goal line.
David Hill, the only man there. The Magpies went to sleep. Stanton bangs it clear for the Bombers.
To the wing. Tuvey did the spoiling. Handball comes to Jetta. To half forward. Monfries against O'Brien.
Oh, numbers inside 50 for the Bombers.
And it was a beautiful spot up to Watson, who's within range.
Well,
his teammates say have a shot.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 options there, Quarters. If he had been able to turn around, you can see Mick Malthouse just shaking his head because there was, if Monfries had been able to turn around a little quicker, he could have even found Hurley or 1 or 2 others. So real breakdown there from the kick out. Hill was able to get it in the full back line. It was coast to coast, and they just split the Magpie defence open.
Joe Watson this year converting at 58%. Loves Collingwood, by the way. The last 5 games has averaged 32 disposals and 7 clearances a match. He's a bit down on that so far today. The Essendon captain. That is a superb kick. Goal umpire did not move.
Sensational to watch a player at Joe Watson's level just really decide he's going to be a better kick and work on it. His field kicking this year has improved out of sight. He's kicked the handball ratio, kicks the ball more than he ever has done. And that's what a leader does. That's what a good player says. Side needs it. Just got to go back and kick the goal, and he's able to do it.
The first 2 goals Essendon kicked. The Pies responded within 45 seconds on both occasions. They're a side that does it time and time again. It is a huge 1.5 minutes for Essendon. Not allow Collingwood to kick one, and they've got to get another one themselves.
Jared Blair missed from pretty much identical range, maybe a metre closer than Watson. So it's a 2-goal play, and it's the Bombers' clearance. Now, O'Brien and Cremery. Cremery with his tail up after a goal, and he wins. He wins. He does win as he gets his kick away. Stanton, oh, it was a mongrel, and he couldn't hang on to it. Jetta tried to work his way through. High tackle.
Rare occasion you ever see Harry O'Brien beaten in a one-on-one. He certainly hasn't been today, and he called it beautifully, Tim. It was a really big play there. Stood up Cremery, turned him around inside out, got the ball inside 50. And this is massive for us. And a minute remaining in the first half. 10 scoring shots apiece. This gives them a chance to get back to 14 points.
Doesn't want to have a shot at goal, does he?
No, Leroy Jetta, 13 disposals. Another player who's improved out of sight due to his fitness base has gone to a new level.
This could bring the house down. Close to half-time. Never close. Still time. 3 behinds, Leroy Jetta.
Never looked like kicking that one.
I often wonder why you're a small forward, your job's to kick goals. Why don't you actually go back the way Alan Didak does and say, this is what I'm born to do. Shape up and just kick it.
Playing with Darren Buick, and he would act like he couldn't see a Darren Buick because he didn't want to pass. But yeah, Leroy didn't want that shot.
Spoken like a true full forward. And that, oh, gee, should have been a mark, I thought, to Hardingham. Umpire let it go. Fletcher somehow found Hurley, who thumps one towards goal. It's a long, high kick. Melksham lurking, and we'll have a bounce. 30 metres out from Essendon's goal with just 12 seconds left on the clock before half-time.
Great contest there provided by Cremery again. He just wheeled his way to the front, brought the ball to ground. Now applying a bit more pressure here on the Magpies.
Can the Bombers conjure something here? Oh, Jetta almost nicked it. But Davis was up to the challenge. And he will make sure that there is no score as we work to half-time. And there it is. Collingwood in front by 19 points. But this game is far from done and dusted. The Bombers fighting back bravely in that second term. 7-3 pace, 3 goals, 8.
Got a great insight for me into a gun side in Collingwood able to rise to the challenge, and the most improved side of the competition, Essendon, laying down the challenge to the Magpies. This is going to be a ripping Anzac game. The goal square deep, and Bill Chambers in the ruck.
Bombers have twice come from behind at half-time in this series of games against Collingwood on Anzac Day to win. Huge challenge for them today. They win the first of them out of the middle through Lonergan. Cremery almost balanced it on one hand. He gets it to Zaharakis, who dallied, and he's gone. And the Magpies come away with it through Maxwell. It could be coming back, although Heppel fumbled. Essendon hard at it, though, at the start of the second half.
McVeigh managed to break the tackle, puts Essendon deep into attack again. Jetta against Davis. Great mark on Davis. He's been excellent.
Deep in defence. Quarters 2 marks inside 50, the Bombers for the first half. And again, they get outmarked 15 metres out from their own goal.
Shaw, a little chip over the top to Pendlebury.
So good, Scott Pendlebury. He made that tackle in the defensive 50 and then he pushes up on the wing. He just works so hard, runs players into the ground. 19 disposals, 5 clearances and 2 goals early in the match.
Bit of claret on the nose of Dane Swan, won't bother him at all. He's got 13 disposals for the game.
Here he is. Down he goes. Watson played it well. Big Bell Chambers used his vast bulk and gained some metres for the Dons. Hurley and Melksham. Lead to Davis. Collingwood under pressure. Jetta with the tackle, and it's holding the ball. That's a big victory to the Bombers. 15-all, Jetta and Davis at the start of this third quarter. But Essendon coming out with a vengeance here. They need some reward for their effort. Into the 50 they go again. Hill has got it, and he can line them up.
That's massive. That's exactly what James Hird has been wanting, and Mick Moldhouse, you can just see the look of concern. He's a talented player, David Hill. It's all set up by Leroy Jetta's tackle on Leon Davis. They've got the big men in there. They're capable of doing that. Hill's a great contested mark for a ruckman forward. If he can stand up and start plucking a few, they are right in this game.
He really needs to nail this. And he curls it back, and he squeezes it in. And the Bombers are within 13 points.
He played like a man in the first half who'd missed a lot of footy, which he has, only this being his second game for the season. Didn't play any NAB Cup footy bar a half in the final, but he's a powerful man. He works really hard. Just lacked a bit of touch in that first half, but it's a big contested mark, which the Bombers have been looking for, which they didn't get in that first half.
Well, we wondered whether Harry O'Brien was going to pull up okay after that knee, and the early evidence suggests that he might just be labouring. That customary ping that we saw from Harry O'Brien in that first half wasn't there as he approached that contest, so we'll just keep an eye on him.
So it looks like David Hill might have blown out a few of those cobwebs in the first half. Just what the doctor ordered the Bombers to start this third term. The margin's cut back to 13 points, and that's a good mark taken by Thomas on defensive 50. Collingwood spread. One of them is Pendlebury, and he's coming up for his 20th disposal. The man who we read today is a creature of habit. Spaghetti bolognese 2 days out from a match, and risotto the night before, every week, plus his chicken rolls. Throw in Collingwood's half forward.
Arguably the two best players for the respective sides, Swan and Watson, just 13 disposals each. You just feel one of them could be the difference for their side. You feel they've got a lot left in them.
McVeigh was being held. He's been called to play on. Oh, put Lonigan under the hammer. Gets it off to Slattery. He throws it on the boot to half forward, and that might be a free kick to Maxwell. It is.
You're playing the best team in the competition. Here's Melksham giving away a free kick from behind, just a little grab of the arm. You're looking for small wins, and even to start this second half, just slowing the Magpies down, making them think about their kicks, go wider and slower than they normally would is a win.
They're issuing the challenge to the champions. They've kicked 4 of the last 6 goals, 3 of the last 4. And they've put themselves right in this game. Pendlebury. Careful little kick to ball. And that's a very good kick with the non-preferred. Luke Ball's kicking questioned at times. That was spot on. Cloak suggesting the long shot from Lee Brown.
Matthew Lloyd pointed out before, no real hard tags in this game, but some concern for me around Pendlebury at the moment. 21 and 2 goals.
Leroy Jetta can't find the target at one end. Leroy Brown has a go. And that's a minor score. Collingwood by 14.
Darsh, you beat me to it. I was about to say exactly the same thing. I think Joe Watson's actually his respective opponent. Not winning the football today, Joe. I think they've got to change that matchup. Maybe Heath Hocking to Scott Pendlebury and go a hard tag, because he's the difference in the match at the moment.
Good kick by Fletcher, and they didn't disappoint Bell Chambers either. Took the nice mark in front of his face. He's growing in stature as an AFL footballer every week. Stanton had the kick smothered just as they looked to have a break here. Bombers now picked up by Brown. Lovett Murray hacks it out of midair only as far as Davis, and that is a mark.
Been good, Leon Davis. That's possession number 16. Won a lot of contested footy as well.
Reid, setting up Cloak. Well done by Hooker.
Front on contact.
Yeah, Cloak wanted the free kick. None forthcoming. Swan in the pocket to Didak. Slattery won the one-on-one. And now the Bombers away.
And McVeigh makes sure they're well away. Pumps it in the hill direction. Monfrey's down. Stanton running by. Now the Bombers a real chance. Cremery got it. Well within range. And this game is very much alive. At quarter time, it looked as though it might be nearly over. But the Bombers have come back.
Again, they got a really good contest, Tim, on the wing from David Hill. Let up, brought it to ground.
Cremery steers through his second. Just 8 points in it.
Just about to highlight the smother of Heath Shaw's in centre wing here. Commentary side of the ground. It was a big play. Essendon were just searching for it inside 50. It got turned over, but the respect they've got for Essendon's ability to defend now has grown enormously in only a half a dozen games so far this year. They then turned it over in their own back half. Got it going the other way. 2 goals to start the second half.
4 clearances to 0 in favour of the Bombers to start this third quarter. But watch this drop from Didak. Just a percentage play from Henry Slattery. Didak yet to take a mark. Slattery, that's what he's in the team for.
Jolly the tap. Did it cleverly to Swan. Now out to Shaw. On the members' wing. Kicks to the 50. Dawes in front. Has it knocked away by Fletcher. Fell in the arms of Stanton. He gives it back to the old-timer. He kicks a high ball. Underneath it is Cranberry and Monfries. Good spoil by Maxwell. Pendlebury lost a handle on it. Picked up by Cranberry. Great handball to Monfries. Now Howlett. Dodged the tackler. Chips to half forward. Stanton can mark and go. Runs to 50. Stanton shanks the kick. Not a great one. Thomas. Picked up by Zaharakis. Points the difference. That goal came from nowhere.
Yeah, it certainly did. Just great pressure across the ground. You can see here Stanton was able to get it. It was a shank of a kick. And Zaharakis made something out of nothing. Joe Watson's gone to full forward in the goal square. I like that move. Matthew Lloyd's pointed out hasn't been into the game. He's capable as a forward. Good stuff.
See Zaharakis, who was so influential a number of years ago, an important goal for him. Joe Watson's gone forward. Angus Moncrief's into the centre square. Big clearance here in this match.
The Suns weren't going to win a game. The Magpies weren't going to lose one. It could all come adrift in round 5. Here's young Heppel. Swan in the way. Heppel indomitable. In goes Pendlebury. Pinched by Slattery to Monfries. And the Bombers advance again. 1-on-1. Melksham doing well. Stanton brought down by Tuvey. Stanton wanting to hold it up. Has to be careful. There'll be a ball up.
Put more options in their side now, the Bombers. There's Joe Watson, who's gone to full forward. Harry O'Brien is going to play full back. It just seems as though James Hird has been able to make changes they weren't capable of in the past. Paddy Ryder's playing on a wing on Heath Shaw. Watson, who's been quiet, has already proven this year he's more than capable as a key forward.
Collingwood by 2 points. Tuvey getting some treatment for a knock on the nose. Bell Chambers. Third man up was Ryder, knocked it forward. Right now, it just seems to me that the Bombers, Luke, are a little bit more desperate than the Magpies.
No doubt their intensity has been a little stronger than Collingwood to start the second half. They've kicked the first 3 goals. And I think Mick Mouldas has decided to get a loose back because of the momentum. Nick Maxwell now drifts back defensively at the other end. Dyson Heppel's on his own. Be interested to see if James Hird responds and says, you know what, we've got the momentum, let's go and play one-on-one and push another one forward. And that's what he's doing. Heppel's now going forward to try and pick up Nick Maxwell on his own. There's Heppel, who's just drifting forward.
Bell Chambers against Brown again. Ryder was third man up, knocked it forward for Essendon. It's all Collingwood here though. Wellingham to Johnson. Dawes will have to beat Fletcher. Fletcher just fisted from behind. Here's Big Bell Chambers, lost his footing at the crucial moment. Bodies flying everywhere. Thomas threw it onto the boot. Now the break's on. Getting there first is Heath Shaw. Has one bounce. Kicks it long. Cloak in between 2 Bombers, can't take the mark. Dawes is immediately wrapped up. Good effort by the Essendon defence. And we'll have a bounce 40 metres out from Collingwood's goal.
The other area quarters where we were surprised the Bombers playing 3 tools are in the area they're stronger is their leg speed, the Bombers, and this is shown out in this third quarter.
Collingwood's ball, Wellingham to Luke Ball, and he manages to work it home.
Love to see this stoppage, just a lapse there. Bombers go on the ground. Benny Howlett, Wellingham kept his feet over to Luke Ball. And that's what they do. They get challenged and they put a gap on you. Seasoned team, the Magpies.
Collingwood's lead back out to 8 points. Luke Ball gets his first goal for the afternoon.
Paddy Ryder back into the ruck. Zaharakis comes on to the wing.
Ryder won the tap comfortably, but it went straight to his opponent in Brown, who kicks a long ball inside 50. Didak a little push out. Got away with that one. Cloak can't control it.
And the Bomber fans saying, what about that one? They're not happy. I don't think.
It's a fair estimation, Tim.
Very good around this area, the Magpies at stoppage. The stoppages, they got a goal through Ball on the last one.
So Collingwood's turn to put Essendon's defence under pressure. Watson just having to bang it out in hope. Cramery been good. Now Collingwood with 2 on David Hill, and it's a ground level contest. Tough for the Bomber big man. Reid, Tarrant there. Reid comes away with it, and the kick is safe to Maxwell. Oh, that's a bad hand pass to O'Brien. Buried in a Jetta tackle. An Essendon free kick. Bomber fans triumphant again. Stanton running loose. Wanting the ball, Jetta either didn't see him or didn't feel it was a safe option. And now he's gone on the journey. Where did that come from?
Well, the skipper, Nick Maxwell, would love his time again. Give credit to the Bombers, though. They're chasing here from Michael Hurley, but that is what you call a hospital handball, which you don't want as a teammate. And Leroy Jetta, as he said, he didn't want the shot last time, but he was confident there.
Essendon on top in this key area of the game now. Tackles in the forward half of the ground. They lead at 34-12. Leroy Jetta, for mine, gets a game in the Essendon team on his forward pressure alone. That's a massive bonus if he can drill goals from 60.
The clearance to Essendon again. This is reigning premiers are officially under siege. Can they respond? Zaharakis finds some space. Kicks along to the goal square. Bell Chambers is there. Misses everyone. Davis sees it safely over the line.
So the stat that I just gave, forward half of the ground tackles, this is what the Bombers want to do. Replicate Collingwood last year. Trap it inside your forward half of the ground and just keep applying pressure.
Hocking couldn't get boot to ball. Davis again. Well done to Pendlebury. Hurried kick only as far as Heppel, who'll play on. Long left foot kick. Monfries. It's a point. 1 point the difference as we near the halfway mark of the third quarter.
Henry Slattery has gone down to the rooms, boys. He was having some massage on his groins for 2 or 3 minutes. Just not moving that freely at the moment. He's gone down to the rooms.
Collingwood just 8 goals in about 2.5 quarters. They've been averaging 21 goals a game. Davis a long ball to Jolly, but Ryder equal to the task. And the Bombers keep it in, and they've choked Collingwood's rapid movement through the corridor to set up easy goals, such as they kicked in the first quarter. Jolly, Pendlebury, well tackled. His dominance has faded. Howlett well tackled by Swan. It'll be a ball up.
I think Howie just mentioned the fact that Henry Slattery's gone off the ground. Lloydie, you told me that he's got a great record on Alan Didak. Didak just 9 possessions and a goal. And his opponent now, Nathan Love at Murray. So the Bombers will be really keen to get Slattery right back out there.
Out on the full from Monfries, Collingwood's ball.
Here's where the Bombers have improved, not allowing teams to get out of their defensive 50 as Bell Chambers puts the press on, and out they go. They've lapsed here unless McVeigh can put the pressure on Tarrant.
Tarrant slaps it in the Thomas direction. That's great use of the body by Lovett Murray. A win there for Essendon. And then Thomas chases down McVeigh. Well done, Dale Thomas.
Fantastic effort, Dale Thomas. He just values this part of his game so much more. One of the biggest improvers across the whole year last year, and that is a massive play for Essendon, for Collingwood, with Essendon having all the momentum at the moment.
Davis, a little chip, finds Reid. He goes into the middle, and that's a good kick. Mark taken by Shaw. Gets it moving quickly, but it's 2-on-1 here in favour of the Bombers. The bounce did not favour Hooker. Dawes intercepted by Hooker. And Essendon away again. Mark taken at half-back by Heath Hocking in his 50th game.
Almost the reverse of what we're seeing in the first quarter. Collingwood's forward structure not looking great at the moment. The Bombers look so much more dangerous when they go inside 50.
Jetta over the top to Cranmery. Looking for McVeigh. Had the arms chopped.
Cranmery's playing a game for you, Lloydie. I know you're not an Essendon man anymore, but all these big-name players coming into this game, and Stuart Cranmery's been a huge factor this quarter.
Yeah, it's been 6 inside 50. Stewie Cranmery and Mark McVeigh's another player, been really good on the wing today.
Bombers looking for the lead. Big fist, Jolly, and it's Collingwood's ball. Side bottom, pretty subdued so far. Wide, too wide. And the Bomber fans are giving vent to a sense of great excitement and anticipation.
4 goals, 1 to 1 goal 1 in the first 18 minutes of this third quarter.
Bell Chambers had a swipe at it, picked up by Melksham. Got Howlett in support, who's played a terrific game inside 50. Marked by Shaw. Oh, thank goodness the Magpies have Heath Shaw down back today. Now Bryan, who's got a dodgy knee. Looked all right there, though. Moved nicely as he kicks long to the wing to Brown. Should mark, does. Swings onto the left. He's got Thomas on at the 50. Hunted down by Lovett Murray. Thomas handballs widely into the forward pocket. Fletcher kept it alive. Now a little slap was good to Stanton. Lovett Murray again with strength. Back to Stanton, who's lifted enormously since quarter time. Hurley's had a quiet one. Back to Lovett Murray. Back to Stanton. Over to Melksham. He's hemmed in. Under pressure, gone.
Oh, great effort. It was Wellingham who just was relentless in closing the space down to the Bombers. Forced the error. Melksham kicked it out of bounds.
Bombers have loose men in defensive 50. See Joe Watson just standing at the top of 50. That's where Collingwood have broken down, like you said, Das, in this third quarter. There he is.
Hardingham, yep, picked it off well. Kicks adventurously, but he did it beautifully. And Jetta receives, and he has a man there for the hand pass. A good man, his leader, who goes to Cramery. Tooby with him, and Tooby's won some great one-on-one victories. To Sidebottom, to Davis, to Cloak. And Collingwood build again. The champions steadying under fire. Good placement, Cloak. Dawes there. Brown down, and that is a goal.
There's a real air of finals tension this game. Just hanging on every contested possession, every long ball going inside 50. Low scoring, considering we've bordered on three-quarter time. But Lee Brown, I thought it was a worry him going into the ruck up against Paddy Ryder, but he's probably had his best patch in the game in this last 10 minutes.
So have a look at Joe Watson's kick there out of defence. He's had a game where it really hasn't all gone well for him now. Look, he had a short option here. We just paused. You can see back there was a short target on. He tried to go a bit longer over the top. The Premier has been really good. Turned it over. Just had to take the obvious one.
Great tap by Bell Chambers to Watson. Gave it off to Stanton. Kicks to half forward and a good mark taken by Howlett. Howlett coming in for his 15th possession. Goes long. Looking for Ryder, goes up, cleverly tapped down to Jenner, who was front and centre. Tried to get it back to Ryder. O'Brien mown down again. Zaharakis is in there, he's tackled. Releases the football to Hill. Hill handballs backwards, it's going to Pendlebury though, who somehow magically sidesteps and got the handball off to Wellingham. That was all class. Wellingham to the wing. Dawes under pressure from Fletcher. Did well to get boot to ball. Goes to half forward, running onto it is Dane Swan. Back to Blair. Blair squeezes the kick towards Cloak and knocked over the line by Hooker.
Brilliant game of footy, this one. Just feel like everything is hinging on every contest, us.
First time, Lloydie, that we've seen the reigning Premiers challenge this year. They've had an average winning margin of 65 points across the first 4 rounds, and they are in a game here on Anzac Day.
Bombers surrounding Wellingham, who was trying to break Didak. Jolly. Slattery, though, in the way of slightly aimless hand pass. Now Swan. Scoring it behind. Well, we wanted a genuine heavyweight clash on Anzac Day between a powerful Collingwood and a resurgent Essendon, and we've got it. And the champions are hanging on.
Feeling a lead going into three-quarter time is going to be really important. We've heard a lot of feedback.
Foot on the line.
Brett Stanton just pointing out, if your foot's touched the chalk at all, Bomber fans just can't believe it. Look at the replay, yep, foot's on the line, that is over. You can't have any foot touching the chalk at all. So the basic error from Brett Stanton. We heard the players all year talking about the fact that with a substitute rule now, they're down to 3. They are absolutely out on their feet in the final quarter. This game has been played at an unbelievable intensity. Really going to be tough work for them in the final quarter.
Jolly couldn't manufacture a goal. Slattery. Oh, he's over the ball. He might be gone here. Oh, umpire says on bounce. By the way, the subs for the two teams, Dick for Collingwood and Reamers for Essendon. Both running players.
And this is normally the period of the game where you see the sub activated. about 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Cloak, brilliant tap, Beams off the ground. Collingwood by 14.
A relatively quiet afternoon for Dave Beams. He's just disposal number 11. It's his second goal. Just so dangerous. That second tier of player, if you can call Dave Beams second tier, he's turned himself into an elite player along with still side bottom. So much depth, so much class in this list.
Brett's out in set. He's hit back hard in this game. He touches the line. What a tap this is from Cloak. Cleared the space into Dane Beams. That's a big play, that one.
First time Collingwood have kicked consecutive goals since late in the first and early in the second quarter. It gives them a little bit of breathing space.
Das, what's your thoughts? I think Kyle Reimers, he provides a spark. He provides plenty of run.
I'd get him on right now, Lottie.
Would you take a big man off?
Yeah, I reckon it's time to go for speed to try and break them down. They're going to fatigue. They're a younger side. They haven't got the hardened bodies that the Magpies have got at this stage of their development. Time to get Williams on. He's also a goal kicker.
Wind to Bell-Chambers, but ball's been good for Collingwood. Thomas. And he goes for Cloak against a smaller man. Hardingham did pretty well. And the smaller man at ground level was prevailing. His captain helps him out. Did it beautifully. Heppel, Howlett, getting rid of the tackler. And away go the Dons. On the lead is Hill, and he got there. Oh, it is a frenzy of a contest. Hill wanting to get it in quickly, and he does, but it's a bad placement. Tooby's mark, and that might be 50. It is against Angus Monfries.
I like what David Hill was trying to do there. He'd taken the mark and he was looking for a one-on-one inside 50. Monfries wanted it out the back. The kick just didn't have great connection. And Monfries couldn't get there and gave away the 50.
And only 8 disposals, Alan Turvey, but could arguably be one of the greatest games he's played for the Collingwood Footy Club. Just done all the right things at the right moments.
Brad Dick warming up for Collingwood. He's taken the place of Cracker this afternoon. Now Brown.
Bell-Chambers on the mark there. He was really labouring after Leroy Brown as he sure drops one.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistake from Shaw, then he overran it.
Bell-Chambers out on his feet here in front of us at the moment. He might be the one-year substitute for Kyle Reimers.
Zaharakis goes backwards. Hooker isn't the most convincing of passes. Blair off to Ball, to Johnson, backs himself. Has to unload the handball, side bottom. Great tackling by the Bombers. Bounce, 48 out from the Magpies goal.
Great contest, sorry, Quarters. It's just so good to watch. I love watching the reigning premiers respond to the challenge. They kick a goal when they need to. And equally, how impressive Essendon are defensively. They're coming up with a big play.
Lonigan as Maxwell climbed in, and Lonigan's clearing kick well snared by Hurley. It is one-on-one, Crameri and O'Brien. Tuvey again. Slippery customer. Thomas there to help him. What a wonderful player he is. Tarrant to Davis. Nursing the kick for Ball, who's been very good for Collingwood. He's well wrapped up by Hocking, and he's gone. Pretty tough call. Hocking's footy. Almost used the umpire as a shepherd there. Hill waits down. Crameri's got it. He thought it was a mark. Not paid. Davis for Collingwood. Reid just jamming it onto the boot and getting it to Jolly.
He looked pretty stiff there, Crameri.
Yeah, he had a point.
Yeah, I reckon he had the first bite, the second bite held it up.
And the Bombers interchange steward. Colin Hooper has got the red vest standing next to Kyle Reimers. A change is about to be made.
Jolly goes long down the line. Fletcher again does the spoiling. Picked up by Lovett Murray. Now Fletcher again. That's not his best effort. He's turned it over and it's marked by Shaw.
Reimers on, Monfries off, Quarters.
All right, so Monfries is the man who's been subbed. Blair for Collingwood. That's out of bounds. So you're surprised they've kept all 3 tools on Matthew?
I think they've all, like David Hill was one I was maybe thinking, but he's a real presence late in the game. Tools, Monfries just couldn't find enough of the footy today, just the 11 disposals.
What do they say? You don't get any shorter?
Yeah, exactly right.
Now the aerial ping-pong finishes with Swan. That was a pretty good kick with the left boot. Off balance, but for just a behind. Collingwood by 15 points, and the Magpies are being challenged in a serious way in this third quarter.
Massive crowd at the MCG. Got to be well in excess of 90,000. And it's a very handy buffer for Collingwood as we near three-quarter time. They're in front by 15 points after at one stage Essendon got to within 2. Love it, Murray. Here's Reamers, the new man. Just got a little bit more subtle with his boots choice, just the white ones with the fluoro stripes this year.
David Hill's just come off the ground for a rest. Paddy Ryder is going forward. Chris Tarrant, Bell Chambers is going to continue in the ruck.
Melksham to McVeigh to Watson. Watson just gets boot to ball, and it's come off okay too. The mark's taken by Hurley. Nothing to kick to. Handball's under pressure to Hocking. Back to Hurley. It's a thumping kick. Loads up a high ball into the pocket. Ryder works his way to the front. Good piece of spoiling there by Tarrant.
Actually a really clever kick from Joe Watson running forward then. He picked up the foot. He looked inside 50. There's absolutely nothing there, so he had enough poise to just try and kick this on the outside of his boot. Now, this is intentional. He might have dropped it awkwardly, but he knew if he went forward, there was all the numbers back there with the Magpies. Really great awareness.
Ryder spraying it. And it'll be Collingwood's ball. So under 2 minutes left in the quarter. Quarter in which Essendon went within a couple of points of grabbing the lead, but the Magpies have steadied the ship. They lead by 15. Luke Ball has had it 18 times and has been one of Collingwood's best. Reid, Magpies being careful, soaking up seconds. Still plenty of time for either team to score. Scything ball, a beauty. Ben Johnson.
He's kicked really well today, Ben Reid. One of the queries when he was a forward earlier in his career was his disposal, kicking for goal, but used the ball really well across halfback.
He gets himself hemmed in, and the kick is not good. Lovett Murray a fist in there. Didak, clever to Pendlebury, and suddenly he's in space as though by magic. Maxwell's forward, Heppel with him, beams down, and side bottom lurking. Well tackled though by young Heppel, and it's an Essendon free kick. The advantage is invoked. Away comes Watson, puts it in front of Zaharakis. The job in front of him. He keeps going. Did he get rid of it legitimately? Yes, it's play on. Johnson surrounded. Bombers everywhere. Big swing by Heath Shaw. In goes Zaharakis. Ryder. A high ball and up and under. Can Hurley snare it? Can Jetta at ground level? Knocking it on. Cremery just miscued. Will it sit? No, it won't.
What a play at half-back from Dyson Heppel. High draft pick from 2010 in his first season. He has come up with a massive, massive tackle here, still side bottom. His one-on-one effort in Didak prior to that was just as big. Got the Bombers back into attack mode.
Good thing about all this is we've got another quarter to go. Brown, missed the target on Dawes. That'll be it. What a great quarter of football. Essendon challenged, Collingwood responded, and the Magpies go to the final break with a 14-point lead, 66 plays 52.
Yeah, it was a brilliant quarter from the Bombers, but they won the first half of the quarter. The Pies hit back 4-2 to 3-3 in favour of the Bombers. We've had a ripper, and it'll be a ripper last quarter. Can't wait.
Selection they made prior to the game. They're going to stick with it. Bell Chambers in the ruck, and Reamers is on as a substitute.
Collingwood by 14 points. Final term underway. Watson cleverly always seems to have that bit of time, and Heppel again into the 50. Hill hands on the ball. Bombers dangerous. Cremery with the left boot. And the Bombers with Cremery getting his third of within 8 points.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. That man is Stuart Cremery. At least heralded of all the key forwards the Bombers have gone in with today. And as Tim Lane said, his third goal, centre clearance is the key. Look at David Hill, gave a great contest. They couldn't get that in the first quarter. And at ground level, for a key forward, Cremery has delivered a superb goal to start the final quarter.
strong-looking customer, Stuart Crameri, taking his opportunity at the big time with both hands, and now the margin is back to 8 points. Bell Chambers forces Essendon forward again. Slapped by Tuvey, picked up by Ball, fires out the handball to Reid. Reid to the wing, Blair against over there, Hardingham, and Shaw sees it over the line.
Don't know what it is in footy, but you can chase, but it's just getting that goal ahead and staying there, and that's what the Bombers haven't been able to do. They're challenging, but can they get in front and stay there?
Jolly nicely to Wellingham. To half forward. Dawes overran it. Here's Fletcher. Off to Hooker. Good handball to Stanton. Now to his captain. And Watson from a standing start to half forward. And guess who? Stuart Crameri again.
And it's a probing ball. Hill and Reid, although it didn't drop for the Essendon big man. And the Magpies cover it. Shaw, Jolly. Shaw again. Now he has to go to a contest here, and Lee Brown wins it with bulk and height against Lovett Murray. Sits it for Cloak. Good kick. Members wing. Travis Cloak. Not a lot of impact since the first quarter. Beyond Dawes, who recovered well. Dick's arriving on fresh legs. Heppel with him.
I'm super impressed with Dyson Heppel. His real first taste of a massive game for Essendon. He stood up very nicely today. Travis Cloak, as you said, he started really well in the first quarter, but Carl Hooker's done a good job since then.
Jolly down to Wellingham. Stripped to the ball. Ball to Cloak. Brown's underneath it. Oh, no mark. It bounced, and the umpire will have a bounce. 45 out from Collingwood's goal.
I think it was touched off the boot as well. A bit of a smothered kick, but this is where the game can be won or lost. Who can keep it inside their forward 50 and apply the pressure the longest?
Hocking. Now picked up by Hooker. Throws it on the left, and it worked out nicely for Essendon. Ryder. Now Essendon players bolt forward. Oh, Leon Davis, well done. He's had a good afternoon, and that was a big mark at a crucial moment in the game.
Now, he ignored Thomas, and he's gone with the left and put Tarrant under the pump. And roving for the Bombers was Lonigan. Good tackle, though. Tuvey comes away with it to Ball. Not sure about that placement, but Didak almost took a miraculous mark, and his effort wins Collingwood the ball effectively because Slattery was under pressure and puts it out. So it's the Magpies footy, and it'll be Pendlebury.
Goes to the pocket. Here's Wellingham. Squeezes the kick out. Underneath it is Heppel. Oh, well done. This young man is going to be a star of the game. Dyson Heppel. No concern for his own safety. Running back with a flight. You're going to love that, Matthew.
Oh, it's like he's played 200 games the way he's played these first 5 rounds of footy.
One of James Hurd's favourite players already in the Essendon team. And it's advantage paid. It was the free kick to Ryder. Zaharakis got it to Howlett. Bolting is Jetta. One-on-one with Davis. Jetta gets to his feet first. Davis is not done with yet. Leon Davis, magnificent, but then he's put it out on the full.
Just exhausted, I think, corners, but his body strength on Leroy Jetta. He's won the one-on-ones, but Hurley's the thumping kick. He could nearly kick it from here.
Michael Hurley has had a pretty quiet afternoon. 11 disposals. Hasn't bothered the scorers as yet. Collingwood leads by 8 points. And there's a big anti-climax across the face. And a mark by David Hill.
See Shaw's reaction. That is why the Essendon coaching staff and James Hurd said we're going to go the tools. Hill's coming in. Bell Chambers is staying in. We talked in the first quarter about them struggling. Only 2 marks inside 50 in the first half. They've got a massive opportunity now.
Hill kicks his second. It's a 2-point ball game.
sudden, the defence of Collingwood gets a little nervous. The long ball coming in, fatigue sets in with the sub rule. And the big men, can they stand up? One-on-one opportunities. There's such a great team defence, Collingwood, but everyone gets nervous when you're a big player one-on-one in the goal square. And you know the way they're playing Essendon, they're going to keep pulling the trigger.
He's worked his way well into the game, David Hill. Unforgivable this from Ben Reid and Lee Brown. Both got to the front. They had to take the body out of David Hill, but well done from the big man.
It's 9-7 to 6-4 since quarter time. The Bombers by 21 points in that period. Bell Chambers, heroic work into half forward. Side bottom though, quick on his feet. Kicks to a contest, important contest. Heath Shaw wins it hands down. His forwards start to go for him. He goes for Swan. Why not? Dane Swan to Didak. Dangerous from within 50. A long way out on the angle. And missing on the near side. Collingwood by just 3 points. Whoever would have thought when the Magpies led by 23 at quarter time and Essendon were goalless.
And the noise level here today, every bit as loud as grand final day, if not more.
It is, and this is the next goal we talk about. Can the team who comes from behind then go in front?
Bell Chambers marks, gives it off to Watson. Jetta was caught napping there. And consequently retakes the uncontested mark, goes bravely into the middle. It's a good decision. Running onto it is Tuvey. Tuvey kicks to the pocket, trying to set up. Cloak takes the mark, plays on goal. Cloak's first for the afternoon. Collingwood leads by 9.
They make you pay, don't they? It's a champion side. Loving to beat occasion. Came back so quickly, wasn't it? And there was Travis Cloak. Just got him behind Hooker. Been a really good contest. Carl Hooker's done well. A couple of big goes for Cloak.
Don't imagine this is just any old game for the Magpies. They might have won a lot lately, but they don't want to lose this. And it's not over. It is far from over. There's a lot of football left.
They are the benchmark, the Magpies, and just when they need to respond, they've been able to find it at every opportunity. That goal was really timely. The Bombers had laid down the challenge. The Pies responded.
Collingwood's ball off Jolly's bring down. Thomas for Collingwood. Quick movement here. Cloak again. Just didn't hang on. And the Bombers get a reprieve. Didak, and that might be out on the full. It is. Didak flicking it back after a teammate. But in fact getting Hooker's boot. And now using his own with devastating effect. Cloak weighted down. And he kicks 2 in a minute.
Spoke before the game about the Hooker and Cloak matchup. Came off the shin of Hooker and went out of bounds on the fall. He just looks tired, Carl Hooker. Looks as though trying to run around with this man who is a massive aerobic athlete has got to him. He was scrambling to get back. Cloak with the fitness base, 2 in a minute.
Everyone will be talking about the Cloak goal. Don't underestimate these blocks. Nick Maxwell on Henry Slattery. It opens up the angles. It gives you an extra 5 or 10 metres to get the ball deeper. They're the only side that really does it consistently, and I reckon other sides have got to start if the umpires are going to allow it.
Big guns starting to lift for the Magpies. Hocking driven into the ground. Quick kick by Jolly inside 50. Here's Dawes against Fletcher. Fletcher has a fresh air. He comes back to Didak. Gives it to side bottom. He got it back to Maxwell. Buttering up his ball. Sidesteps the tackle. Kicks it inside 50. Cloak again! Can't take the mark. Hooker. Can't get the handball away. Dawes lays the tackle. Bounce.
Spoke about Carl Hooker before the start of the game. Anzac Day last year, Travis Cloak kicked 3 goals in 30 minutes on him. In round 20 last year, he kicked 4. Carl Hooker looks absolutely gone, whereas Cloak just fresh and ready to go.
Oh, another Collingwood goal, and it's pretty serious for the Bombers. And Jolly very nearly produced it.
You just wonder if Michael Hurley's the man to go back. Just the 12 disposals, hasn't been able to have hit the scoreboard whatsoever, and maybe just go a smaller forward line along with David Hill for this last 14 minutes or so.
So Collingwood by 16.
Kyle Hardingham, another one, had a great day. He could go forward, can take a big grab.
Still 14 minutes left, more than half the quarter. Hill the target of Hardingham's kick. Thomas down, but so's Watson, and he cruises away and delivers too strongly for Ryder. Coming the other way, first man there, Tarrant. Pendlebury to receive. Got a lot of company. Had a fair bit of company since early in the day. Maxwell scrambling it on. Heppel and Slattery there. Slattery the shepherd. Heppel the collect. Left foot kick is good. All Essendon in midfield. Howlett in the clear. Kick a little strong. It might work. Cranmery again. It's an open goal. His fourth. The Bombers are still coming.
Frenetic speed. This game's been played out once again. Dyson Heppel across half-back. Finds the loose man in Ben Howlett. They've missed a few. Couple of turnovers from Howlett and also Watson, but this man so dangerous around goals. He started in the NAB Cup and his form has continued.
Stuart Cranmery having the game of his life.
Spoke about Joe Watson. He had a quiet first quarter, quiet start in the first half. He set up that play at half-back. It was a great contested ball, just watching around the stoppage.
Collingwood by 10. Jolly gets the clearing kick for Collingwood. Cloak against Hooker, who labours. Cloak just almost about did him, but slipped over at the crucial moment. Good handball by Hardingham, and the Bombers out of danger here. Hooker kicks to half forward. Well done by Lonigan, forced it in the direction of McVeigh. He's immediately gang tackled by a couple of Magpies, and the umpire will affect a bounce.
And Quarters, the stitches on down here. Every player that comes off the ground now is really labouring to the interchange benches. They're all coming off looking like they're cramping and really tightening up. The legs down here are getting very tight.
And still more than half a quarter of footy to go. Thomas for Collingwood. Dawes with 3 against him. Would need to be good to win that. Fletcher. Slattery comes away with it. Groves. Reamers. Essendon press, but here comes Leon Davis. Didn't have an opponent.
Well, they had 2 out there, and the kick from Reamers kicked out Leon Davis in the middle of 2. If he had pulled it short, Hocking had it. If he had gone longer out the back, there's an opportunity for Jetta.
Landed it right between them with Davis. Back to Reid. And now to O'Brien. Collingwood. Impermeable for so long. Suddenly looking a little creaky. Toovey.
There's a bounce. Oh, and kicks into the man on the mark, and we'll have a throw in slightly in Essendon's attacking half. 10 points of difference. Long way to go in this game. And the crowd, 89,626. Right of the tap in the path of Watson. Ducked the head, got away with it with sheer strength, and then he's run down. Great tackle, Collingwood. Advantage paid. Kick to half forward. Mark taken by Dawes. Dishes off quickly to Didak. Runs into trouble. Blair didn't have it. Umpire let it go. Now Dick off to Didak, and that will be a throw-in.
Time for cool heads. Half forward for the Magpies. Brown bringing it down. Falls Collingwood's way. Reamers giving it up a moment ago. Couldn't get rid of the tackle. Heppel has been remarkable. He's still 3 weeks from his 19th birthday. This, in front of 90,000 people, has been a wonderful performance from a young man.
And have to be in consideration for the Anzac Day medal, along with Pendlebury. He's sure.
Ryder got the tap. Socket off the ground by Melksham. Now Watson. And the mark's taken by Chris Tarrant.
Played a great game, Chris Tarrant.
Long looking for Cloak. Fletcher the fist from behind. Throw in 45 metres out from Collingwood's goal.
Dustin Fletcher's just rolled back. You can see him tracking Travis Cloak near the bottom of your screen. I think that's the right move. You've been really brave, Carl Hooker, but he just looked dead tired. Go to your best and most experienced defender.
Brown beautifully to Blair. Picks the moment, shoots towards goal. It's a mark to Collingwood to Dawes.
That's the only issue in the reshuffle. Lovett Murray's had to pick up Dawes as Hooker's gone to the bench for a rest, and Dawes is he's a mammoth of a man. Too strong for Lovett Murray.
So Chris Dawes from point blank range will put Collingwood 16 points up again.
Three goals to Dawes and Cloak between them in this last quarter. As Dustin Fletcher comes off, looks fine, but had his knee checked out over the course of the break. But Das made a ripping point there. Just the height and strength of Dawes over Lovett Murray, with Hooker having to come off the ground. It really hurt their structure.
Massive physical difference between those two. And it showed. And the mark was completed inside the goal square, so Dawes was able to have the shot from straight in front. And Collingwood are 3 kicks to the good. Brown, but straight to Slattery. No escape from there. Ball tried.
Thanks, guys.
We've been excited about the way the Bombers have performed, coming from where they have done last year, as Cale Hooker's had to come back on. He's absolutely out on his feet, but Dustin Fletcher just had a little tweak on his knee or ankle. But the response of the Magpies in key moments has just been unbelievable.
Yes, where the Bombers have come from. 14th last year. Howlett to the 50. Maxwell forced to reach over Cramery. O'Brien run down by the speedy Jetta. Maxwell. Cramery's got him. O'Brien. Jetta's got him. Essendon, like men possessed. Down goes Pendlebury. Tarrant to Maxwell. And Collingwood hold up at least for the moment. Slattery arrives. Spoil though with Wellingham. And Collingwood have the ball covered. Didak. Attacking hand pass to Swan. To Wellingham. The hit on the Bomber defence now. Cloak with the set. He's got it again. And the bulk and strength of Collingwood's 2 silos up forward is proving too much.
Yeah, more than that too. I think you've got to pay enormous credit to Travis Cloak. He is an aerobic animal. Covers more ground as a centre forward than just about anyone in the game. And what he's done, it's just been wear Cale Hooker down. Not quite able to go the distance with Cloak across the game. He was really competitive, Cale Hooker, for the middle part of the game for about 2.5 quarters. But Cloak has just worked him over. Look how fresh Travis Cloak looks. Looks like he'll go and play another half. Cale Hooker out on his feet.
4 goals last year in this game, 5 goals in 2008, and he has kicked 3 goals in the last quarter in 2011.
We spoke before, big men don't get any smaller, and we've seen 4 goals now between Cloak and Dawes in this last quarter. Have been reasonably held by Fletcher and Hooker, but that Wellingham, not enough pressure from the Bomber midfield, and Hooker lost sight of the footy, and Travis Cloak too strong in that situation.
Magpies by 22 points in front of just under 90,000 people. Bell Chambers against Jolly. Fresh area by Swan. Picked up by Reimers. Great tackle by Swan. Fed out by Jolly to Wellingham. Back inside 50 go the Magpies. Fletcher does the spoiling. Davis, Cloak. Davis. Leon Davis. Having a run up forward, has kicked it behind.
Played a great game today, Leon Davis. 26 disposals off half back. been strong in the one-on-ones. A man who we thought his career might have been in trouble. He's reinvented himself across half-back.
So Fletcher goes long. Watson for Stanton. And now the running Crammery, working out of the back half. He's wreaked havoc up forward many times today to Zaharakis. And that is a very good kick. A beautiful finish.
Good.
That was their best passage of play.
But how about this guy? Off the rookie list, kick 4, streaming out of half-back. Look at the composure as well. Didn't panic, just waited the handball across to Zaharakis. Still got so much run in his legs. Has just been a sensational story. Have they gained some improvement, the Bombers, in the space of 6 months? They are a different side.
Well, in front of 90,000 fans, Essendon refuses to go down without a fight. 17 points is the difference. And there's still time. Pendlebury for possession number 28. Goes to centre-half forward. Heppel couldn't quite take the mark. Trying to feed it out there to Hardingham. And we'll have a bounce. Collingwood centre-half forward position. Pendlebury 28, Davis 26, Shaw 25 for Collingwood. For Essendon, 26 to Watson and 25 to Stanton.
He's Shaw just loose across half-back. He's now pushing up into the contest to try and get forward and sneak a goal. I think Malthouse deciding to try and create some numbers defensively.
Lovett Murray to Hooker, to Fletcher. And he chips a little one short. To Heppel, run down, throw in.
Magpie fans venting, saying holding the ball. He had possession. He got a little hand pass. Collingwood deep in attack. Heppel just throwing the boot at it. Straight to Pendlebury. Keeps chalking up the stats. This will be number 30. It's a pretty useful one, although the Bomber defence closes. And closes well. Hooker to Howlett, to Zaharakis, to Lovett Murray. Can they kick the next goal and keep this alive? Jetta, O'Brien with him. Oh, it's still alive. It's still alive. O'Brien wants the line. And in the end, he gets it.
They had no one inside 50 on that occasion. Everyone had pushed up. It was really well played by Jetta. Now Ryder goes forward. He's got a one-on-one down there with Ben Reid if they can win this clearance.
Jolly goes up uncontested. Didn't do much with it, however. Lonigan just forces it forward. O'Brien didn't panic. Nice handball over the top to Swan. Off to Dick. To Thomas. He just pumps it long. In front is Heppel. Did the spoiling. Fletcher at the back of the pack. Back to Heppel. It was a dangerous handball. Blair pounces. Kept his feet for a while, and then a high tackle. It's a free kick to Essendon. Hill back to Hooker. And he kickstart things again at centre-half back. As he chips to the wing. Still haven't given up hope, Essendon. McVeigh. Inside 50, good pass. Mark taken by the man of the moment, Stuart Camry. Dishes off back to McVeigh. McVeigh long to the tip of the goal square. Ryder, no mark. Well done, Wellingham. And Collingwood clear.
Well, Paddy Ryder needed to hang on there. Just hasn't been his day today. And Collingwood just might threaten. Didak, Hardingham with him. Still time. The Bombers need 3 goals. They'd have to do a lot right.
He said it hasn't been Paddy Ryder's day. He had one on the wing and it just dropped his head. And this one, he really just needed to commit a little stronger. You can see he's shaping his body round. That's when you just stick or at least bring it to ground.
Brilliant jolly to Thomas. Dawes is under this. Couple against him. I think whatever happens in the next 5 minutes and 27 seconds, we are going to see some great contests between these clubs in the seasons immediately ahead.
Hill went up. Tap snared by Pendlebury. Handballs backwards to Swan. He gives it back to Pendlebury. Now Johnson. Hurried kick into the pocket. Dawes flies. Fletcher stayed down to Watson. Nice trap. Handballs to Hill. Gives it off to McVeigh. McVeigh goes into the right direction. Tries to get it to Hurley. Ryder has another go at it. 5 to go. And we'll have a throw in.
Well, this is James Hurd's reaction after the drop mark from Paddy Ryder. You can see the inside 50. Hurd's watching it and not impressed with his big man's effort on that occasion.
First time we've seen that from Sir James.
Just about, I think.
Won't be the last.
You shocked, Lloydie? There was. Maybe the phone will come next year, maybe.
Reamers. Now Hill. Zaharakis. To Watson. This is good football from Essendon, but they just overcooked the handball, did Watson. As Stanton was running onto it, O'Brien backs himself. Manages to evade the Ryder tackle. Kicks it back into the middle. Lovett Murray couldn't take the one-hander. Heppel, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And Ryder again can't take the mark, but manages to bring it to ground. Reamers from a long way out. Kicks for home. It's bouncing and it's through for a behind.
Well, that's just selfish, Kyle Reamers. He's gone for the 80-metre goal. We've got to go back. That is just unbelievable play, Dyson Heppel. He has been incredible, but he had Crameri, who's kicked 4 and been the most dangerous forward on the ground. He goes for the 80-metre goal. When you've got Crameri on a lead, you've got to be better than that.
Who wins the medal? There's a teasing question. Might depend on the next few minutes. Heath Shaw gaining half the circumference of the ground in territory here. McVeigh dallied, and he's gone. It's Collingwood's ball.
I think it could be a back-to-back, Tim.
Scott Pendlebury again, with a Norm Smith in between. He might get a reputation as a big game specialist if he doesn't watch it. Here's Dawes. Collingwood by 16 points. And now the clock very much against Essendon. Dawes keeping it wide. Cloak is there. He got the clamps on it. Just didn't hold on. Slattery to Hardingham. And the Bombers at least get it out. Dawes reaching over Hooker. But he might have helped Hooker hold on.
Not much on offer. The hooker decides to handball to Heppel. High tackle. What's happened here? It's coming back. They'll have take 2 with Hooker in possession. Now he drills it long and quickly. Hill from the side. Oh, got pushed out. Didn't get the free kick. O'Brien throws it onto the left. And fortunately for he and his team, it falls into the arms of Alan Didak. He says, settle things down. And he kicks to his captain on centre wing. Collingwood by 16, that'll be enough to hold on to the 4 points. But what a game it's been. And Essendon, there's no doubt, it has arrived as a finals force. I suspect they'll play a big part in September. Not quite in the Collingwood class yet, but not far behind. Thomas kicks to Tuvey. To the pocket, Swan couldn't quite take the mark. Dawes to Davis, been one of Collingwood's best. Kick smothered by Jetta. Watson trying to get it back to Jetta unsuccessfully. Tuvey again, handballs to Dawes. Dawes with the right foot snap, cross the face. Dick rushed. 1 point.
There was a bees in it.
Yeah, very good, Tim. Collingwood by 17.
Anzac Day last year, James Hurd, writing in the Herald Sun, spoke about being a disillusioned Essendon supporter. He thought his old team were non-competitive and he was as passionate as you've ever heard him before. Well, I think the opposite of that today. He's now the coach, and the effort, the contest and the spirit that this team has shown today. They won't win the game, but they've won a heap of friends out of their performance today.
Heath Shaw and Cloak producing a dominant last quarter. Travis Cloak, and he'll put this in a position from which Collingwood could score again. Here comes Hepelo over the top. Leon Davis kept the ball in, although his feet were out, and steered it magnificently to side bottom to sew it up for the Magpies.
Unbelievable, Leon Davis.
He's not far away from the glider.
And I'm wrapped for Leon Davis because last year he was a shadow of the man. He played with no confidence. He looked lazy. He looked unfit. And then to see Andrew Cracker come to the club and then do what he's done off half back now going forward shows a lot of character.
Bit of old magic from Neon Leon, setting up Steele side bottom.
Yeah, and he's in the mix for the Anzac Day medal, and all credit to him. He was a shadow of his former self, Leon Davis. He looked lost, he looked unfit, he looked lazy, and he's done it all back and forward today.
Jolly forces it forward for Collingwood. Hacked off the ground by Pendlebury. Inside, attacking 50 go the Magpies. Fletcher. Brad Dick overran it. Coming in hard was Didak. Didak evades the tackle, kicks it towards Dawes. Picked up by Stanton, who collides with a teammate in Hardingham. And it's a free kick going Essendon's way.
And just Travis Cloke's stats today: 17 disposals, 10 marks, 8 inside 50s. Huge game from him as the games wore on.
Oh, Howlett run down. Good effort by Big Dawes. Collingwood's ball.
Arguably the most effective big man combination in the game at the moment, Chris Dawes and Travis Cloke. You've got Roughead and Franklin, who have got more talent, but these two, they just wear defenders down. They've both got big aerobic tanks. They're massive men. They can take marks and they tackle and defend equally as well.
Johnson, Cloke there again, a big presence. Fletcher taking it over. So the margin is 24. And when people read the scoreline in years to come, they'll think, well, that wasn't terribly exciting. And it might get worse than that for Essendon, because Pendlebury will be having a shot. It might give Collingwood a 5-goal lead, and yet I'm wondering if this is the best Anzac Day clash, all things considered, since the draw in '95.
Just about, I reckon, Tim. It's a good point you make. And it might give Scott Pendlebury the Anzac Day medal 2 years in a row, because if he kicks this, it's 3 goals. He's had 33 possessions.
He's shooting after the siren. The Magpies, too good. The challenge came. They withstood it. They're winners. They're still champs. And the margin is around 30 points.